Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Feeling Things. I'm Amy.
I'm Kat.
And we have a little something special for everybody today. We've never done this before.
Never. First time.
No. We have a hybrid situation.
Fusion.
Yeah. We don't really know what we're calling it, but it's like if feeling of the day and email of the day had a baby.
That's what we're doing.
And we don't know how to combine the songs, so we're just going to sing them both. Mm-hmm. So get ready for our feeling of the day mixed with our email of the day. Okay, the reason why our feeling of the day and our email of the day had a little baby is because we got this email from Autumn, and she is responding to a Couch Talks that was sent in. We already aired it from Mackenzie. She's pregnant, and she's just feeling a little like, not as excited as she thought she would feel, and she was feeling a little weird about that. And this has happened before too. It's not just with Autumn and Mackenzie, but other people have emailed in to give advice or feedback or thoughts to other Couch Talks things, which Couch Talks airs on Thursday. This is Feeling Things. We do this. It's our big show. Welcome to the big show on Tuesdays. And I love the emails that we get that are supporting our other listeners. And that for Kat and myself just helps it feel more like a community, which is what we're trying to build. We want y'all to all feel connected, even though you're listening in different places all over the world.
All over the world.
I was going to say country, but then I feel like we do have one listener in Nigeria.
Really?
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Probably have one in the UK or Canada.
We have Canada, we have UK, we have more obvious countries. But when I saw a listener in Nigeria, I was like, interesting.
Wait, could that just be like a listener from Oklahoma that traveled to Nigeria?
Yes, likely. Probably 100%. Yes. Maybe they were just there on a trip and they downloaded it, or
they moved there.
They're a missionary.
Yeah.
Or they're deployed somewhere in Africa.
Worldwide.
Mr. 305.
I was waiting for that.
All right. So the feeling of the day is supported. And it's because of this email we got from Autumn. So do you see how we just had a
baby?
We merged. Here's the email that Autumn sent in. Hey, Amy and Kat. I listened to the Couch Talks about Mackenzie navigating feelings around a new pregnancy. I related to many of those feelings and her circumstances. I'm also a military family and a mom with a busy career. Something that helped me get through my fears early in pregnancy was the following quote: "What's the best that could happen?" My brain often jumps straight to the worst case scenarios and all the things that could go wrong. That quote, which I guess is also a question, is a nice reminder that things can also go right. Love y'all. So what's the best that could happen?
I love it.
And I love that she sent that in for Mackenzie, and I love that we get to share it here on the big show. And that we're all feeling supported. Hopefully Mackenzie hears that and she feels supported. I feel supported.
Yeah,
we all feel supported.
And this reminds me, it made me think about how even in training as a therapist, we're taught to ask what's the worst that can happen. When somebody's struggling with something, we help them. Well, what's the worst that can happen? Like, let's go through that, versus framing their mind more towards the things that could go right. And that's something that I've had to work on as a therapist. Maybe in like 2017, I had a client who, she was younger, maybe like 16, 17, and she would come in every single week and she had a hard life. She had a really rough home situation, struggling in school with some things, struggling with some body image stuff. And every week when she would come in, I would ask her, like, how are these things going that she was struggling with? And it would always be really negative. And she would always be really like solemn and very depressed. And I noticed myself getting frustrated as a therapist, which for me was a red flag of, I'm supposed to have this positive regard for my clients, and I shouldn't have this dread when I see a client on my schedule because she's not getting better, or I'm like not getting sick of hearing what she's saying, but I'm just like, oh, frustrated. So I was like, okay, what are you doing over and over again that's not working? And kind of how can you shift that? So one day she came in, and before I asked her, like, how are things going? We did our thing where I was like, how are things with your dad? And she was like, I hate him. I said, I'm not going to ask you about any of those things. I have a different question. She said, okay. I said, is anything going well for you? Is there anything about your life that you like? And she kind of just like looked at me funny. And I was like, shoot.
Okay.
Okay. And she goes, actually, yes. And I said, okay. And she did a lot of art. She was an artist. And a lot of things that we talked about, she would ask to draw them or paint them. And so she said, can I show you instead of tell you? And I said, okay. So she got out my butcher paper and all like the art supplies, and she had me turn my back so I couldn't see it until she was done. So I couldn't like be peeking. So I turned my back for like 20 minutes. And then she said, okay, I'm done. And I turned around, and I still have this. I kept it. This like mural. It was on like big butcher paper. It was this mural of this girl and then all of these things around her that she liked about herself. And I just kind of dropped, my jaw kind of just dropped. I was like, what is this? And then she started telling me about all these things of I like this and I like this and this is going really well. And this is part of even there are even parts of her body, which she was struggling with body image, and she had an eating disorder, and there are parts of her own body that I had no idea that she really liked. And so she told me all about it. And then I looked at her and I said, why have you never told me about any of this stuff in your life? And she kind of paused. I wish I knew more about what she was thinking, but she just paused and she said, well, because you've never asked me.
Oh.
And I was like,
Wow.
yeah. I said, okay, you are right. I have never asked you about what you like about that was eye-opening for me as a therapist.
Oh, that probably changed how you do things.
I never asked her once what she liked about her life. I only focused on the things that weren't going well. And a lot of those things were out of her control. Like she can't control her mom. She can't control her dad. She can't control people at school. Versus what do you like? And what would happen if we started focusing on those things? And it made me think, yeah, the questions we ask are going to impact how we view things and where we go. So rather than always asking, well, what's the worst that can happen? Well, what's the best that could happen in this situation?
And also just a reminder too of how we're interacting with people, of like the questions we're asking them. Cause like, yeah, whatever y'all were focusing on in therapy, that was the version of her you were getting. And you were starting to be like, oh, yeah, I'm kind of dreading this. So even in our relationships, because not all of us are therapists, right? Most of us aren't. But in our friendships or our partnerships or our work relationships, like what are we doing to kind of lead conversation and things we may be frustrated with when it comes to other people? It's like, oh, wait, how have we contributed to that by the questions we're asking?
Yeah, we get stuck in the same routine, the same stuff. And that I still have to, I love that that story is embedded in my brain forever, because that still happens where I get stuck in kind of a cycle with a client or a friend or somebody. I'm like, wait a second, I keep doing the same thing. So part of this is on me. If I keep asking somebody the same question about the same thing that they don't have control over, I'm probably going to keep getting the same answer. So if we shift our vision a little bit, this might still be going on, but other things are happening too. And it's not to like, because I think sometimes bad things are happening, and it's fair to be able to process that and feel that. But it's being able to hold both of those things. I didn't change her relationship with her dad, but we did spend more time focusing on the relationships in her life that were really good. And that shifted the way she felt walking around.
Yeah. It reminds me of a conversation I just had with my boyfriend. It's a little different, but it reminds me of it. So he was traveling and going to the airport, and I was on the phone with him. And right when he got to where he parks and like takes the shuttle, he was like, oh, the shuttle isn't here. And then once the shuttle got there and he got to the airport, he was like, oh my gosh, remind me to never travel on this day at this time again, because it is just crazy. And then he's like, oh my God, like it was like 4 things in a row. And he's not a negative person, but I happen to be in a very like positive mood. And so I didn't want to be impacted by his negativeness, which I can do that too. I mean, I can rattle off 4 things that I'm annoyed about in a row. So it wasn't about me being better. It's just like in that moment, I realized like, whoa, you're being that way. And I don't want to soak up any of that type of energy. So let's reset. I was like, so tell me, is there anything that's going right this morning, like before you're traveling? And he was like, oh, well, I didn't feel like that stuff was really bad. I said, I know it doesn't seem that way, but I'm over here with this different energy and you're just like ping, 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 which I know you're getting ready to leave the country and this is a lot and it can be overwhelming, but can we focus on like, just tell me something that's going right for you right now. And then that helped sort of reset us. And I would want him to do the same thing for me. Like if I was the one noticing negative things around me, like could he pause and say, okay, can you tell me something that's going right?
Is anything. And there's a finesse to it, right? It's
a finesse.
A finesse.
Oh, I like that word. I don't know that. Well, I mean,
because remember how
I don't know that I've ever used finesse other than like, isn't that a hairspray? Finesse.
Is it? Tresemme?
Finesse.
Finesse? Is that different?
Maybe it's a part of a tagline.
Finesse means, do you know what finesse means?
No, finesse. Well,
there's
it
a
sounds
finesse
like
to it,
like a
smoothness to it. There's a dance to it. There's a way to do it.
It's got to be a tagline for a hair product. Finesse. Finesse.
I don't know.
Okay, but there's a finesse. I like it. Okay. I'm going to start using it. It's our word of the day.
Shannon will find us the definition.
Also, I want to know what commercial it's been in.
But this is reminding me how I think was it your kids or who was it Adeline that told you that you asked the question, what does this make possible too fast?
Oh, Adeline and Stashira, both of them together. Yeah.
Okay. So this is where the finesse comes in, where we have space for the frustration and we have space for the things that are going wrong. And we are mindful to not let somebody linger there too long. We're helping them see the other side versus saying, don't look at that.
Okay.
I'm going to help you see both versus don't look at that.
Guess what? Finesse, Finish, and Strengthen Extra Hold Hairspray, $9.99 on Amazon. 7 ounces.
Is the brand Finesse Finish?
I don't know. Oh. Yeah, it is. Finesse. Also, is that how you spell finesse? Because it looks like finesse.
Yeah.
But
they used to say finesse in like soccer when like, oh, they had a finesse to it. Like when you did like a really cool move, like and it was like smooth. It's like, oh, finesse on that.
Oh, this is going to be my new word. You know how dates are my new food?
Like those dates had a finesse to them in my salad.
Yeah, I'm just going to start using it all the time. Like dates, I want dates in everything. I love dates. And now I feel like I'm going to fall in love with the word finesse.
I have a challenge for you.
Okay.
On the Bobby Bones show, you should have to work in finesse once.
No problem.
Twice in the next week. How about that?
Yeah.
And see if somebody picks up of like, you've said that twice.
So my boyfriend's son gave me that challenge on the Bobby Bones show once because he listens on his way to school and he's 12. And he was like, I need you to say the word donut. And I was like, okay, well, we'll see, because Bobby was doing the news. And so I'm like, how am I going to work donut into the news? And I feel like maybe Bobby brought up some story about UFOs or some unidentified objects, aliens, like something with the government. And I'm like, how in the world am I going to work in donut? And I just remember saying something like, well, do we have the whole picture? Like the whole shebang, the whole donut. Because, you know,
that's not a
donut,
saying.
you know, there's the full donut and then you have the cutout donut. And that's how you get the donut hole.
Do we just have the donut hole or do we have the whole donut?
Yeah, the whole shebang. I think I go, do we have the whole donut? Is this the whole donut, the whole shebang? And that was the way that I worked at it. And he thought it was the coolest thing ever. Like he's on his way to school and he's like, she just said donut. Like, this is crazy. Which, speaking of my boyfriend, you know how that reminds me, because Autumn was talking about the Couch Talks email from Mackenzie, and it was on that episode that I called my boyfriend my husband.
How could we forget?
Yeah, and that was cool. It's just a little Freudian slip. Freudian?
Freudian. It sounds like you're saying fruity. Freudian
slip.
Yep.
And it has been haunting me ever since. So we made a funny, reel about it that we put on social at Feeling Things Podcast. If you're not already following, follow. TikTok, Instagram, all the things.
Subscribe,
follow, reshare, save, comment,
save
our posts.
Yeah.
Apparently, saving posts helps engagement.
That means people really like this. I want to come back to it.
Saving and sharing.
Yeah.
Like if you share it to your stories,
share it to a friend.
That's what I started doing. You know, they did that. I went in, I posted something, and I started sending it out to everybody we know. And I was like, my sister, but it worked because my sister went to our Feeling Things and she commented. And I don't know that she comments that often, but because I put it straight into her DMs, she was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to go leave a comment. I sent it to.
But you didn't say anything to people when you did it, because I did that
I just fired it off.
Okay, I did that this morning. I sent it to one of my friends, and then I texted her, "You can ignore that DM I sent you." And she goes, "Oh, dang it. I thought I was special, and you were setting, I should have just let her
let
think."
it be.
Okay.
Just start firing it
be.
off
Okay.
to all your people. I sent it to your husband. I sent it to my boyfriend, like, haha, look at this reel of when I called you my husband. Because then the caption on it was,
You soft launch your husband?
Yeah, soft launch my marriage. He doesn't know it yet.
So what did he think of it?
He thought it was hilarious.
Okay.
He thought it was funny. Thank goodness. But when I say it is haunting me, it's like his dad sent me a text and he was like, your quote unquote husband just sent me the video, because, also in the video we talked about wait to worry, WTW, which was an acronym or a saying from his dad. And so he thought sharing with his dad would be special. And of course his dad loved it. But his dad wasn't like, oh, Alex sent me this. He was like, your husband sent it. And then you saw some guy at the gym that also said something.
Yeah.
And then, which you can tell that story.
Yeah. Well, so I've been going to the gym with this guy for probably 9 months, and we've said hi and stuff to each other, but never introduced each other. So thank you. You helped me make a friend. He came up to me. He was like, oh my gosh, you came up on my Instagram. And I wanted to tell you, he was like, I don't know Amy, but I know her husband. He goes, he's a great guy. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah. So it turns out, yes, they do know each other. Their kids know each other. And then my boyfriend got a text from one of his neighbors that said, are you getting married?
Stop it.
Yes. And I was like, make it stop.
Stop.
Make it stop.
So he really thought.
Who knows what the neighbors saw or what because sometimes you're just scrolling real quick and it could be like my face, soft launch of my marriage. Like he doesn't know yet. And maybe I don't know.
Oh,
like,
they
did
don't
they
watch
get it? Did they
Yeah.
not understand what really happened? And then they're texting him, are you getting married? Are you getting engaged? And I said, well, what did you reply? He goes, I just sent back no. And I was like, well, what do you mean by no?
We're not engaged.
Right. I know. It was a very normal answer, but somehow I was offended by it.
You wanted him to be like, not yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Do you remember, you might not remember this, when early when Patrick and I were dating, he posted, it was like maybe the first picture he posted of me. I think it was. And I had a ring on my ring finger and he posted it and he got multiple people, including his cousin, called him and asked, are you engaged? And I was like, first of all, if that was our engagement post, we would have some issues. I think we were at House of Cards or something.
Yes,
But
I remember this.
You do? I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I never wore a ring on that finger before.
What did he just reply? No.
I think he just
was he
was
like, heck no.
no, he said, no, but we're looking into it. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We were dating for like 3 months maybe.
Okay. Well, look, it's fine. He just answered no, straight to the point.
Gosh,
so
Alex.
No finesse about him at all. The definition of finesse, to do something in a subtle and delicate manner, intricate and refined delicacy, finesse.
So if somebody does something really smooth, be like, oh, I like that finesse.
Yeah, straight
You
finesse.
did that
like it's, like straight fire. That's
straight
finesse. You know how we made sick a thing? What if we make
finesse a
finesse?
thing? So I wonder if we start saying finesse and you start saying it around your boyfriend's kids, I almost just said your husband's kids. You say it around your boyfriend's kids, if they'll be like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. They bring it to school, we get the whole town saying it.
Okay. Oh, actually, yeah, the whole town.
The whole world.
Whole country, the
Have
whole
you
world.
ever had a saying that you started saying and then you heard other people start saying it and you're like, wait, I think I started that?
No. Have you?
Yeah, but I don't think I did. Like, I think I probably heard it.
I'm going to put money on that you didn't.
Yeah. How rude.
Sorry, I had no finesse with that. But what was the saying?
I don't know. There's been multiple things that I'm like, wait, I said that. Now everybody's saying it.
Well, you got me saying sick.
Yeah, but I know I didn't start that.
I know you didn't.
I'll think of it because I know there have
if
been
you don't
things.
even remember what it was, then
I'm nervous right now. I feel like I'm put on the spot.
Okay, well,
I'll
you think
find
of it and get back
I'll
to
circle
us
back.
because I definitely want to know. Okay.
But okay, also I want people to hear me saying I don't think I really did start it.
But you haven't even said what it is, so you don't have to clarify.
Yeah, okay.
It's not like you're taking credit for anything because you haven't said what it is. You're like, for the record, I just don't want to, act like I'm taking credit for this saying that I haven't even said yet because I don't remember what it is. Okay? I think you're good.
Want to be misunderstood.
Yeah. Don't worry. Was it what are some sayings like
I don't even know things that I say is the problem.
like no cap?
Okay, I didn't start that, nor do I say it.
Dope.
Don't say that.
Fire.
Fire flame. I say fire flame.
What is that?
Like if something's sick, sometimes I'll say that's fire flame.
Who says that?
I think only I say that. Well, two of my friends started saying it too, and then we made it our group chat name. But
Because is that the emoji?
yeah, you know when people send a fire flame?
Yeah. Well, I just call it fire, but
Well, so then I started saying, oh, fire flame, because that's the emoji is the fire flame instead of just fire.
what if we say like
Please start saying fire flame.
strike a match? Cool, because that's like
strike a match.
fire.
Call it fire.
Yeah.
That's strike a match because it's about to be straight fire in here.
That's a lighter. Lit. Lit was one.
I know, but I didn't start that.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have anything. I'm just like trying to think of more cool sayings and I've got nothing.
Okay.
I had like, back in the day, we would say like psych, like when I was in junior high.
That cycles through because we started saying that when I was in high school.
Did y'all ever do anyways? You did? I don't really
do that.
Yeah, yes. You have to do that.
No.
People who know.
Girls
listening.
who get it.
And girls who don't.
I don't get that. Not in the club.
Anyway,
that feels mean girlish.
It probably was. It's like,
and you did it as you like curled your hair. You go,
anyways.
That feels mean. I don't like it.
I don't know that I think I had it done to me a lot. It was when it was in 6th grade. I went to Fulmore.
Did you say that when like you were tired of what they were saying and you're like, anyways?
No, I just said I didn't really say it.
Okay, next.
It was just popular at my school. Okay, we had no finesse back then.
Anyways.
Okay, I have a little something, and then I know you have a little something.
Hit me with it.
I'm going to share things we can say to ourselves to feel calm before we go to sleep.
Okay.
And then I'm very, 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 very excited about you telling your thing because we have had air baths on our schedule on our Google Doc for weeks now. And we haven't gotten to it for whatever reason. I don't know why. We just haven't gotten to it. And I want to know all about air baths because I love baths. I love forest baths. You know, I love cold plunge baths.
I like warm plunge baths?
I like hot baths, cold baths.
So stay tuned. Don't stop listening now because we're going to save that.
Sound baths. I love a sound bath.
Yeah. But have you heard of air baths?
I haven't. That's why I'm eager for you to tell me about it. So I'm going to knock mine out real quick so we can get to yours. So these are things that we should be saying to ourselves before we sleep. I saw this list, thought it could be helpful if you're having trouble falling asleep. Okay. So you lay down, picture it. You lay down.
The first step is to lay down.
First step, lay down. Although, can I share something about how I've been sleeping?
Sitting up?
Elevated.
How elevated?
Okay, well, I have a thing that I got through work from Mattress Firm at like a hospital bed. So
is it
very thankful for that.
Two sides? So your partner could be a different
No.
Oh.
It's the whole, we're all together. I think way back when Ben and I were married, donut? we had the two different sides. He maybe got that in the divorce. So anyways, I just had the regular.
Okay.
However, like if you don't have that or you go to a hotel but you can stack your pillows and kind of just sleep a little bit elevated. And I feel like I've been waking up less puffy when I'm sleeping elevated.
Okay.
And it's like better about circulation. Even if you can raise your feet up a little bit, like put feet, it's like good for the blood from your feet to go towards your abs and the blood from your head to go down towards your abs, you know? So you're almost like it's like zero gravity, whatever they call zero
gravity. What does that
gravity.
mean?
Google it.
I thought zero gravity was like when you're in space.
No, but it's what they call, it's like an elevated state of like your hips are at 120-degree angle or something.
This is getting too complicated.
Well, sorry.
These were supposed to be easy tips.
No, this is, I've gone on a journey.
Now we have to be 120 degrees elevated in zero gravity. We have to go to space to sleep now.
Okay, well, I was originally telling you that, and then my ADHD brain took us on a journey to zero gravity sleeping, which is a thing.
Okay.
So don't hate.
I'm not hating you. I feel
like you've been taken down a rabbit hole.
I feel overwhelmed now. I
Okay.
want to feel underwhelmed with my sleep. I want to feel whelmed with
Okay.
my sleep
Well, that was
tips.
just a side note.
Okay.
Like, whatever. Sleep elevated. Don't sleep elevated. No pressure.
Sleep under your bed.
Yeah. Okay. Back to the original feeling of calm. This is what you're going to say to yourself. Okay.
Okay. Is this one long mantra or different things?
Pick which ones you need
Okay.
or write them all down.
Okay.
I release the day with gratitude. I don't need all the answers tonight. I am proud of how far I've come. I did my best today, and that's enough. I forgive myself and others. Asterisk. Because, like, you maybe haven't forgiven the others. I am safe to...
You can choose your own adventure there.
I added the asterisk.
You're like, I forgive myself, but not them.
Yeah. Yet.
I
am safe to let go. I will wake up with greater clarity. I can start again tomorrow. I am ready to drift into peace.
Ooh.
Now, I don't want to throw you. I know I just went over that list. I'm going to detour real quick because I
Okay.
just thought of something else that I used to do that I stopped doing, and I don't know why I stopped.
About sleeping?
I used to listen to like sleep talk down audio on YouTube from Jason Stevenson. Do you remember me telling you about him? He has an accent. I don't know where he's from. Maybe Australia or
Is this
something.
the guy that says the money one?
Oh, no, that's something. That's a
that's
subliminal.
vibrations.
That's subliminal that
Yeah,
I listen
okay.
to. I can't really hear the person saying it, but I'm listening to like bees buzzing, and then underneath they're going, "You are good with money." Yeah. Circulating money brings you joy. You are responsible for large sums of money, and you know what to do with it. Money, you handle money with ease. Yeah, I handle money with ease.
That's different.
Those are my subliminals that help me with my finances because money used to always stress me out. So that's what I do to stay calm with. You are a money magnet.
That's the one that I need.
Yeah.
Give me $500 right now.
Well, no, you're not. I mean, you're not talking to anybody else.
I know, but maybe it would help me ask for it better.
But it's like, imagine you're just, but I don't hear that. I mean, it's under there because towards the end you can kind of hear it because maybe the ocean's crashing or the bees buzzing or the birds chirping, they sort of die out and then you hear but they're talking really, really fast. It's like you record it and it's on fast feed and it's like you are a money magnet. You're really good with money. You attract money and money comes to you easily and people just want to give you money. It's like that, but you're hearing it under.
Who gave you this idea?
I came across it on Instagram. CryoCat came across some post that she saw. And then my cousin has talked to me about subliminals before. And then I went to this one link that the person posted about. And then I clicked on the link and I was like, oh, okay, I'll get that app. So I get the app and then I just listen to it.
Wait a second. Did you have to pay for a subscription?
I pay for it. Not a lot, though.
You're good with money. You will pay $29.99 a month to have this subliminal message sent to you.
That's the money one. I can listen to.
I know, but
ones,
isn't that
like
kind of funny?
It is hilarious.
You're like, ha, ha,
Ha, ha, ha, ha. So funny. I know. I'm a sucker. Who knows if these even work? Maybe we should make our own. Like I do it. Yes, I do it morning. I do it at night. I try to do it when I'm going to sleep, when I'm waking up, because your brain is in like, I don't know, the state delta maybe or something, which is good at receiving subliminals. Because you have different wavelengths where you're more susceptible to absorb. Okay. So, because on a subconscious level, like I had convinced myself that I was horrible with money, and now on a subconscious level, I'm subliminally telling myself, or whoever this lady is that recorded these things really fast, she's sort of like, totally, you're really good with money. You're making money.
What if in it you don't know, but they're like, you will give me all of your money.
But I haven't given her anything else. Like I'm not giving any other money. Like I also listen to you're a creative genius. There's a creative genius
You are
one.
really creative though.
Thank you. Pause. I almost didn't accept that compliment, but I am working on that. So she would be like, you have ideas. They are flowing out of you, or I'm an idea magnet.
Okay.
So subliminals, back to that. But Jason Stevenson is different. He does sleep talk down videos where
how much did you pay for his?
Free on YouTube.
I like Jason.
And he's got like millions of listens, sort of like us.
We're like the same.
Millions of views on YouTube. We're the same. So Jason Stevenson, and he just talks down. It's like a sleep. It's like a talking that's talking you down to go to sleep. So I think they're called sleep talk down.
Okay.
Videos.
You stopped doing it because you didn't need it?
Don't know. I guess I was getting better, but I was really into it for a while, probably because I replaced it with my subliminals. You know?
Yeah. But this is nice. You can just say these instead of have your sleep talk down.
Yeah, you could just say this to yourself. I release the day with gratitude. I don't need all the answers right now.
That's my favorite one.
I know. That one's good for me because, one thing I was working on therapy for sure late last year was trying to figure everything out.
Yes.
And my therapist kept saying, what if there's nothing to figure out? And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Who do you think you are?
There's so much to figure out. I have to figure out what?
Yeah. How are you doing with that now?
Better.
Okay.
I got better with that after my ketamine. Sort of released some of that. I mean, obviously, and then talking through it with her afterwards. And then, that helps. The weight to worry also helps that in my relationship. Like there's nothing to figure out. WTW. Yeah, I don't need all the answers tonight.
Tomorrow, that's a different story.
Yeah. Okay. Real quick before we get into air bathing, Shannon found us some things about sleeping elevated. Sleeping with an elevated head, such as using an extra pillow or a wedge, can be beneficial for your face, particularly in reducing puffiness and improving skin health. Elevating your head helps reduce fluid buildup, which can lead to morning puffiness, especially around the eyes. Boom.
Sick.
Take it. And subliminals. You're generally more susceptible to subliminal messages when your brain isn't actively engaged in demanding tasks, allowing it to filter and process subliminal stimuli more easily.
Wait, so you shouldn't be doing things when you listen to your subliminals. You should be lying down.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't do that.
Kat.
What?
I just told you when I listen to my subliminals. When do I listen to my subliminals?
I thought you did it while you were doing dishes or something.
No.
Oh, were you lying down?
I just said I listen to it before I go to bed and when I wake up because my brain is still in
I'm sorry.
Delta.
It's not that I wasn't listening. It's just that I wasn't paying attention.
I have compassion for your kind of brain because I too have the brain that you have, which I could easily do that same exact thing to you, which is I think one of the beautiful things about our friendship is because we have similar brains. So I'm not even offended.
It's also, you've given me a lot of grace. I've forgotten what day your birthday is from the past 5 years.
Yeah.
It's in my calendar. It's just in my calendar as the wrong day. And you think after the first year that I said happy birthday on the wrong day, I would have changed it. But guess what? Still in there at the wrong day.
Yours is December 4th. It's fine.
Yours is the 19th?
18th!
It's in my calendar on the 17th, so I knew it wasn't the 17th.
It's okay. My best friend from high school, so I've been friends with her since we were 13, and I still get the days flipped.
Oh,
and
really?
It's crazy.
Well, why can you remember mine then?
I don't know.
Because it's Jay-Z's birthday too.
Probably. And CryoCats is December 10th. I don't know. Yeah. Woo!
And Taylor Swift is the 13th.
Of December?
Yeah.
Oh.
You don't like her? Shannon's birthday is right after my birthday. No, after your birthday. It's after yours. Right? Or
it's
before
right before
yours?
mine.
Okay, I knew that.
Yeah, hers is the 17th. Okay, so yeah, now we've got everybody in the room. Birthdays are covered. Woo! Listeners are informed. They know. But I will say this, because I have had friends where I have missed their birthday. And I don't even think I understood how my brain worked around birthdays. And I would carry a lot of shame and guilt. And I felt terrible. But I was like, how did I just go this whole day? Now I have had to try to implement things like calendar. Shannon helps me. All the things. And I still will mess up and get things wrong. But as an adult, I try now that I'm an aware adult, I've been an adult for a while. But with my ADHD, part of my awareness is making sure that we've got our tools in place. Yeah. That said, I still will mess up. But before I had a calendar, which was not that long ago, I did not like calendars. I hated calendars.
They're overwhelming sometimes.
Let's say this was probably 2018. I forgot a friend's birthday and I felt terrible. And I also did not understand my brain, and nor did she. And it just did not go well. And it's something that came up even later.
Did you remember it later in the day?
Yeah, in the evening. And then I immediately sent a gift.
And you had already talked to her that day?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's some form of communication. And it just was, when I was in bed and I sat up and realized it, like I was like, oh my God, I'm a horrible human. I don't think we can use our ADHD people. We can't just use it as an excuse. But also I think that like, if you have a friend that has ADHD and that were to happen, like don't take it personally. Because
it's not an excuse, but it's not a
reason to question your friendship.
Right. That's not a reflection on how much I care about you.
Exactly.
It just is part of my brain, and I need to work on that better. I did that to my mom in college. I'll never forget this. I called her because I really needed a pair of new shoes because I had formal that night.
On her
and I called her
birthday.
and I said, Mom, I can't find any shoes to wear with my dress. Also, I don't have any money. And my mom was probably, I'm sure she said, like, you can go get some. I'll put some money on your account. She was so nice. And then maybe 4 hours later, I was like, oh, it's my mom's birthday, April 23rd. I knew when her birthday was. I just didn't know it was April 23rd. And so I called her and I said, Mom, I'm so sorry. Happy birthday. And she said, it's okay. You were just worried about your shoes. I was like, oh,
yeah, I was.
I also forgot my dad's birthday, I think last year.
But I guess I'm
December
clarifying,
20th.
it's not a self-absorbed thing. It's not like, it's just like,
well, it's like, I'll tell her happy birthday later. And then cause you like see it too early in the morning and then you forget and you put it later and then it's too late. And then like,
well, now you can schedule texts.
What? Did I know this? Did you already tell me this?
I don't think so.
I knew you could schedule emails.
You can schedule texts now.
Okay. I'm about to schedule texts for all the birthdays the next year.
I don't know how far in advance you can schedule them, but like say you want to send a text like in the morning or it's 5 a.m, but you don't want to text that person right now. Like you could schedule to send them a text at 10 a.m.
Oh.
When it's more appropriate.
Sick.
Fire.
Flame.
Finesse.
Okay.
Or something like that. So, we went down a few rabbit holes there. Air baths.
Okay. So I was reading an article about, I think it was talking about embracing your uniqueness or your quirks. I didn't get through much of the article because I was stopped in my tracks when they brought up Benjamin Franklin and his quirks. Do you know much about him?
I mean, he found electricity.
And bifocals, pretty sure. Apparently, he was a really quirky, interesting guy. And which makes sense because if he did all of these like inventions, he had to be he was a progressive thinker, I guess.
Like us.
Just like us.
We invent words, sayings, phrases, they go viral.
And he did something called air bathing. And I was like, what is air bathing? So I looked, they just like mentioned his air baths as if like everybody knew that Benjamin Franklin took air baths and what they were. So obviously you think of them and you're like, he's probably basking in the air. Well, no, what he would do is for like an hour and a half or so in the morning, the first thing he would do, or one of the first things he would do is go into a room, open the windows, get completely nude and bathe in the air. And he thought it was literally cleansing. He said it was more cleansing than actual baths.
Benjamin.
Yeah.
Benjamin.
He said
air bathing is not cleaner than a bath.
He said,
I mean, maybe back then.
He would advocate for air baths, a practice where he would sit naked in a room with open windows to expose his body to fresh air. He believed this practice, which he referred to as bracing or a tonic bath, was beneficial for his health and helped him maintain good health. He liked to practice with cool morning air to energize himself and loved the warm afternoon sun to relax.
Okay, so I get that. I mean, so he was a little bit ahead of his time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because we do stuff like...
Well, because it's kind of like a cold plunge, right? The only thing there are probably benefits to it, but the thing that got me is it says Franklin preferred air baths to actual water baths, believing they were a more effective and agreeable way to cleanse the body.
That's where I'm like, Benjamin,
you need some soap and
water.
Like
maybe cleansing mentally, because you can get still and clear and calm, but like...
But what was the like hygiene back then? You know? I don't think they had the best hygiene.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe they just weren't up on the times of soap. And water was probably more of a harder resource to get.
I think about that when I was watching Gilded Age, did you watch that?
No, you've talked about it before.
So good. You still haven't watched it
yet?
But
when is the Gilded Age?
Late 1800s.
When was Benjamin Franklin alive?
Shannon?
That's one of those things.
I
That's
know
like,
that Thomas Edison was in the Gilded Age. Like he invented the light bulb around then. So I don't know if the light bulb and
electricity
like came at the same ish
because Benjamin was the kite.
with the lightning.
Yes.
Right. And the bifocal.
And bifocals.
So we'll figure out
1700s.
Oh wow. So he lived till 84. So maybe he's onto something.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like that's old for back then.
Maybe he was lucky. Or no, I mean
maybe his air baths like
he probably
extended
took
his life.
better care. He probably was doing things that were really good for your
going outside to get struck by.
Well, I was going to say he probably was doing things that were really good for his mental health that impact his overall health, and he didn't even know it. Like if he went outside and I mean, now it's like, duh, the sun helps our health, but he was, and that's hard for us to do now.
Mm-hmm. He was getting fresh air.
Yeah. He was
naked.
He was getting air baths. The wind was just cleansing his whole body.
Mm-hmm. Well, so the Gilded Age was about 100 years after he died, and they have these beautiful dresses, and they're like corsets, and they're all and what's this? What's under the dress? The like frilly the white stuff that like makes it tulle.
Oh,
thank
so
you,
it makes it all big.
Tulle.
Just say it like you would say a hammer. Tool.
Tool.
Yeah.
Okay. But I didn't know if it was tool or tool. Like I don't know how to spell it.
Tulle probably.
Tulle.
But you don't say it that way. You don't always
See, but
pronounce
if I were to see tool.
You would say tulle.
No. I would, okay, if I look at tool, if I see Tulle, I'm going to say tool.
And if
I see TOOL, I'm going to say tool.
Well, I think you could say. Anyway, what about the dresses?
Why are you frustrated with me?
I'm not frustrated, but what
was that?
I'm like, just say tool.
I know, but no, sorry. Let me back up. I'm genuinely asking for clarification.
Oh.
Is it tool or tool?
Tool. But I think if you said tool, people would understand you. It's
Fine.
not wrong.
So that stuff under the dress that's white and fluffy. All that I'm trying to say is when it comes to hygiene, and it would be so hot out, and they have on these dresses. Like, what did they do to smell? Like, did they have deodorant? I mean, I use all natural deodorant, so maybe that's what they were doing. Did they do coconut oil and vanilla? What's that stuff? Essential oil with a little baking powder.
Wait a second.
Or soda.
I never thought about that.
Well, I did when I watched the
They
show.
were
I'm like,
sweating.
they've got to be so hot, and I wonder if they smell. And then they'll start like making out and then doing it. And I'm like, oh, what are they doing?
Also, if it was normal, then they probably would be like, oh, it's the smell. That's what people smell like.
Oh, they would use, Shannon to the rescue. In the 17th centuries, people used a variety of fragrant materials to smell good. Floral scents like roses, orange blossoms, jasmine, as well as musky scents. Potpourri was also popular for homes. And, they had gum back then? Perfumed gloves.
Interesting.
Or if you're like, do you put gloves on and then just stick your gloves under your arms?
But also, I see here Shannon's helping us out in multiple different ways. Baths were for the rich. Bathing was for the availability of water depended on your social standing. So I don't know what Benjamin's social standing was. I would assume it would have been high. He could have been bathing. Maybe he was saving the baths for the other people.
Well, that would have been
That'd
kind.
be sweet.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, they used to bathe maybe once a week. We're bathing too much. That's what my boyfriend says. I shower too much.
I think he.
No, he said it's bad for my skin.
Well,
or my microbiome.
I like to feel clean.
Yeah, same.
So I'll incorporate an air bath into my routine, but also like depending on where you can't just open all of the windows in my home and get naked. People can see through my windows.
Yeah. I don't know. I picture Benjamin. He's probably on like a little like house on a hill. No one's bothering him. Like you literally have neighbors like, right next door.
That's Benjamin. He's air bathing. Don't mind him.
Yeah. Well, air baths. We did it.
The more you know.
We got it. Now we cross that off. Y'all try it out.
Let us know.
But don't get busted for like indecent what's that called? What would that be
Indecent
called?
exposure.
Mm-hmm.
You could just sit in a bathing suit.
No, it has to be air bathing.
You got to get it
like
all through
mm-hmm.
the orifices.
All the nooks and crannies, says CryoCat. Some of this is making me think of a story about CryoCat, which we need to get her a mic so that she could speak on it, but so she doesn't have it. I'm just going to throw this out there for listeners in case any of them have had this experience and they know like maybe what could be going on. But she's waking up smelling weird. Like this has never happened to her before. Like she could take a shower and go to bed, and in the morning she'll wake up and she smells like Indian food.
Not even BO.
Indian food.
Is there Indian food in her body?
No, that's what I said. Or like maybe in her water shower, like her neighbors, are they cooking? No.
Does it have to do with some of the supplements you're taking?
She thinks maybe, but I don't know. If anybody else has had this experience, just let us know. She thinks it could potentially be too much testosterone or stress. Like, has anybody else had an issue where they wake up suddenly out of nowhere smelling like Indian food and they haven't eaten Indian food? Same diet all the time. She eats factor meals.
But, okay.
Maybe it could be certain peptides that she's on. We don't know.
I wish she was still having this problem because then we could have her air bathe and see if it helped.
Yeah. Because she would do that.
Too much soap.
No problem.
Not enough air.
All right, Kat, where can people find us?
On Instagram at not You Need Therapy. I keep doing that.
That's okay.
On Instagram at Feeling Things Podcast.
Yes. And on YouTube, TikTok, all the things. And we hope that you will email us.
Hey there.
At feelingthingspodcast.com. And you can call and leave us a voicemail, 877-207-2077. All this stuff is in the show notes as well. And lastly, have the day
you need to have.
Bye.
Bye.